guys, so listen, if you were absent, you're probably watching this video so that you can get some information on trapezoids and kites, okay? So remember, you need to go find in your Google Doc this particular, in your Google Drive, you're going to go find the special quadrilaterals, the one where we were putting all the properties and we were taking notes and all that kind of stuff, typing stuff in. So when you do that, I want you to go find on Google Image, do a Google Image search for trapezoids and properties. But there's actually two types of trapezoids. There's a regular trapezoid that looks like this one, but you needed to get the one with the line through the center. And then there's an isosceles trapezoid, and that's what this one is up here, okay? You also need to go get a picture of a kite. And remember, you're just going to type in kite properties and find a Google image that you can attach to this slide, okay? So let's talk about trapezoids really quickly, and I'm going to go over what the properties for a trapezoid are. So the first one that you need to know is that there's only one set of parallel lines. That means that usually when we look at a trapezoid, most of the time it's the one on the top and the one on the bottom, but there's only one set of them, okay? Those two parallel lines are actually called the bases of a trapezoid. And so that's usually why we see them at the top and the bottom, because it's the base, right? And then the other two sides, and so if you look at my picture, AD and BC, those are called the legs, okay? But there's only one side that are actually parallel. With an isosceles trapezoid, so I'm going to move this picture out of the way, and I'm going to blow this one up a little bit, okay? But with an isosceles trapezoid, what happens is that the two legs end up being equal to each other, just like in an isosceles triangle, right? The two sides were equal to each other. And so that's what happens with an isosceles trapezoid. The other thing that happens is that the two base angles end up being congruent to each other. So that's why there's this little blue mark and a little blue mark over here, okay? All right, let's move this back out of the way. And then the other thing that we need to talk about is number 4. So in an isosceles trapezoid, let me move that back and zoom this back out again. In an isosceles trapezoid, when the diagonals bisect each other, and this is the part that's a little bit weird, but they actually bisect each other and they create two equal sections, okay? And so on the diagonals, which are these purple lines, you can see this piece of the diagonal and this piece of the diagonal end up being equal to each other. And then the bottom half of the diagonal, this piece, ends up being equal to that piece. So again, in an isosceles trapezoid, the diagonals end up intersecting and creating equal sections or equal pieces, okay? All right, and then the last thing that we need to talk about is what this big red line is in the middle of this trapezoid, and that is what number 5 says. So the length of the mid segment is the average of the two bases. So PQ is called a mid segment, and if you take a look, P is actually at the midpoint of this leg, AD, and then Q is at the midpoint of this leg, BC. And so this is called a mid segment, and the length of the mid segment is the average of the two bases. That means you add the two bases together and divide by 2, okay? So hopefully you have all of this typed in. Let's go talk about kites. All right, so here's a picture of a kite. And remember, if you can Google image a picture that looks similar to this, that would be fantastic. But let's go take a look at this one. So with a geometric kite, adjacent sides end up being congruent to each other. And so you can see the mark at JM and the mark on JK. Those are equal, as well as side KL and side ML. Okay, so the adjacent sides are congruent. The other thing that pops up is this orange space right here, this orange marking on K and angle M. And what happens is you get one set of opposite angles that end up being congruent to each other. Okay, there's only one set. And then last but not least, the diagonals of a kite intersect with this blue square that, remember, means perpendicular, okay, or 90 degrees. And so if we take a look at the properties, that's all you need to know for a kite, okay? Adjacent sides are congruent, diagonals are perpendicular, and there's an opposite set, or I'm sorry, one set of opposite angles that are congruent, okay? Let's go try some problems. Let's get your workbook out. All right, so here we are in Canvas on the home page, and part of the reason why I wanted to share this with you is because one of the other things that you missed, so if you're watching this video and you were absent, one of the other things that you missed was part of the explanation about Canvas. And so I messed this week up a little bit, so the dates are off, the grades are a little bit off, and so I just wanted to go over that with you as well. I'm on Canvas right now, and again, I hesitate, I would be really careful, I suppose, if I were you. Make sure that you are going through modules and you are not just clicking on your to-do list over on the side, okay, or even going to the calendar, because sometimes things get messed up, okay, as they did this week. So again, on the home page, you want to go to either this week or go to modules, okay? And when you're in there and you go find Thursday, Feb 4 and Friday, Feb 5, there are actually 2 assignments, okay? There's 2 assignments. Number 1 is the workbook page, and I'm going to do a couple of those problems with you right now. And then the second thing is the struggle bus, and I'll show you what that is when we get done, okay? So if you click on the workbook page, this is going to take you to, and this is why I say I hesitate, or you should hesitate to just look at your to-do list or to look at the calendar, because the due date originally was for 2/3, okay? And so in your modules, I'm pretty sure it might say 2/3. See how when I hover over it, it says 2/3 instead of 2/5, okay? So be super careful about that, all right? But let's go find workbook page 163. All right, so I'm going to help you get started with page 163. I definitely want to go over number 3. That's that mid-segment problem with you, and help you kind of get some of them started, okay? Let's take a look at number 1. So number 1, this is a kite, and in a kite, there's one set of opposite angles that are equal to each other. So you set these two equal to each other. So 7x minus 9 is going to... All right, sorry about that, guys. You got cut off there for a second. So again, there's one set of opposite angles that are equal to each other, and so you're actually going to set these equal to each other. Okay, so 7x minus 9 is going to equal 5x plus 29. If you look at number 2, this is an isosceles trapezoid. Notice how the 2 base angles are marked as being equal. That means that the 2 sides are equal to each other. So you're also going to set those equal to each other. Go solve the equation, figure out what x is, but remember, you have to find JH when everything is said and done, okay? All right, let's go do number 3 all the way together, okay? So number 3 looks like this. Here is that mid segment, right? PQ is the mid segment, and what the property of a trapezoid said was that the mid segment, so 5x minus 5, is equal to the average of the bases. So we're going to add the 2 bases together and divide by 2. So that looks like 2x plus 40 divided by 2. Okay? So to solve this equation, you're going to just multiply that side over there by 2 to get rid of this denominator. So this becomes 10x minus 10 equals 2x plus 40. We're going to subtract 2x over, so we get 8x minus 10. I'm going to add that 10, so now I'm at 8x equals 50. When I divide by 8, I end up with 6.25. Okay, so 6 1/4. Remember, we're trying to find out what PQ is, and so you're going to plug that in here. So 5 times 6.25, subtract 5, and we should get 26.25. Okay? So for number 4, let's get this one started. we need to find angle EFD. That is this one right here with the 2x plus 9. In order to get x, we're going to use 9x minus 18. And remember, with kites, diagonals meet and are perpendicular. So 9x minus 18 is going to equal 90. Okay, so go ahead and solve for x and then plug it in here. Number 5 and number 6 do not have rotational symmetry. They actually have reflection symmetry, okay? And so if you take a look at number 5, we can draw a line of symmetry here. And the reflection line is actually at the midpoints of the bases. Okay, see if you can figure out number 6. Number 7, we're actually going to skip in our workbook for right now. That is the struggle bus. Okay, and so you can skip this one right now, and I'll show you what the struggle bus is in a minute. Okay, so skip number 7. Number 8, when you go to look at number 8, I will tell you that no, she does not have enough information, and the reason why is because looks aren't everything, okay? Just because it looks like a trapezoid and it looks like these two sides are parallel does not necessarily mean that they are, okay? All right, last question I'm going to give you a hint for, so go try number 9 on your own. Number 10, the only hint I'm going to give you is that there are 360 degrees inside every single quadrilateral, okay? So we're going to find the measure of angle x. So you have 360 degrees in here. 126 is taken up by W. This symbol stands for a certain number that's taken up by Y. And then since this is a kite, X and Z should be the same angle, okay? All right, let's go talk about that struggle bus. All right, so if you go back into Canvas, okay, where it says workbook page, you're going to take a picture, right, of page 163 and 164, and you're going to submit it here. If we go back into modules and you take a look where it says struggle bus, if you click on that, you're going to load this into a new window. And then I want you to try this challenge problem. Now listen, this is not going to be graded on accuracy. It's only graded on effort. And so I just want you to try. So if you take a look at number 2, or slide number 2, on a scale of 1 to Patrick, how do you feel before you even start the struggle bus, okay? Then you're going to answer the question, which by the way is number 7 from the workbook. You're going to put a picture of your work here. Remember, just try. Show me something. Just try it, okay? And then you're going to answer the Patrick question one more time, okay? All right, guys, that is it. I hope that you do really well. Good luck. Shoot me an email if you have any questions.